Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. And I have a really amazing guest on today. Um, you guys are not going to believe what he does and how he does what he does so freaking successfully. It's crazy. So, listen, just do me a favor and share this out. Just if you're watching on Facebook or wherever you're watching, Instagram, share this out because this guy he's the entrepreneur's entrepreneur, and it's going to be very inspiring to hear his story. So let's get a bunch of people on here. I have the one and only Jamie Coones coming on, and you're going to be blown away by this dude's story. So share it out, stay with us, and we will be right back. Okay, we're back. Let me bring Jamie on. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Ken, thank you so much for having me, man.
Man, I'm grateful to have you here. I've interviewed 560 plus celebrities and entrepreneurs, and I think that this might be one of the most interesting interviews I've done, actually. So
awesome.
we're gonna just so everybody knows, and we're gonna get into it, but Jamie has a company with 21 locations now, but his company picks up dog poop.
That's right.
He picks up dog poop and he does it very successfully. So you guys want to hear this, so share this out so we can get some other people on here because this is amazing. So Jamie, why don't you start with telling everybody where you were born and raised? Where did it all begin for you?
Yeah, so I was actually born in Woodward, Oklahoma, 1981. I've officially crossed that 40 threshold. So,
wow, you're old.
But I grew up till I was 8. I lived in Missouri, moved to California for a few years, came back, ended up growing up in Kansas most of my life.
Okay.
Little town called Pratt, Kansas, in South Central Kansas, and then left there to go to school at K-State in Manhattan, Kansas. And once I left school, I moved to the Springfield, Missouri area, a small town in there, for about a year. Then moved back to Wichita, and ended up back in Manhattan, Kansas. I love this town so much, and the community is just incredible here. Amazing people, and that's kind of where we're at now.
Sorry. Wow. Just got a tickle in my throat. So, I was telling you backstage before we got started that years ago when I started my company, I was sitting in a buddy of mine's office in Columbus, Ohio. And he's a multi-millionaire financial planner, a little bit crazy, funnier than heck. And I won't swear using the words he used, but he says, how's business? And I said, man, it's bad. And I'm just not getting the sales and I don't understand and blah, 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 blah. And all this whiny stuff. And he goes, you know what? There's a dude here in Columbus, Ohio, making over $1 million a year picking up dog crap. Like, get out of here with your complaints and your excuses and get to work. What are you doing? Like, I was like, what? He's like, he picks up dog crap and makes over $1 million a year. Stop it. And so I'm like, believe it or not, that was motivation for me because I thought I never want to go pick up dog crap for a living, right? So
And
so you go did you so you went to college in Kansas is what you
yeah, at
okay.
Kansas State University. Yep.
Okay. So you went to college. What's your degree in?
I didn't graduate. I actually started a business when I was going to school. I had signed a contract painting all of the apartments that students moved out. Well, I mean, we have a turn season in this college town,
Yeah.
and so anytime people would move out of the apartments, my company would go in and paint. And so, at 21 years old, I was making six figures while I was going to school, and I was like, I don't think I really need to finish school. It wasn't
Yeah.
really my thing. So
What were you studying in school?
I actually golf course management is what I wanted to do. I
Okay.
was really kind of into the turf science and
Yeah.
um, stuff like that, but it just my life took a different direction and led me down a different path.
So you did this how long did you do the apartment painting business?
I did it for about 2 or 3 years, and that actually just came out of necessity. I couldn't pay my rent 1 month, and the I was talking to the property manager, and he's like, "Well, do you know how to paint?" And I said, "Actually, yeah, my dad had a painting company when I was a kid, and I kind of helped him, and I learned a few things." And so he just asked me to start doing some of his repaints to help pay off my rent.
Yeah.
That turned into a full blown company where I was able to, hire my friends, roommates, and
Wow.
it worked out perfect for everybody because as students, we had kind of limited time. And
Yep.
so when we're painting these empty apartments, we could work all night, um, do whatever.
Wow. So where did things go from there? I mean, how long did you do it?
I only did it for about a year and a half, maybe
Oh,
2 years.
okay.
Yeah, my life just kind of took a different direction. And my dad was living near Springfield, Missouri. And so I went and I just wanted to change. I went and lived kind of in that area. It's where I grew up. I mean, till I was 8.
Yeah.
So going back and living there for a little while and just really, it was kind of a chance to reconnect with my dad. Him and my mom got divorced when I was 8. And so anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, there was no particular reason to move there.
Right.
Um, but I really did enjoy my time there. Southern Missouri has some of the best people you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, yeah. So so you stopped doing where did your life go? I mean, and I'm getting to where you decided at some point to start picking up dog poop. But like where like you're in southern Missouri and what were you doing to earn money?
So actually, my cousin was working at a company there, and she got me a job helping them out. I was out. Oh, basically they did high end home furnishing stuff.
Okay.
So we would build out like custom closets and do stuff like that for these new properties and a lot of commercial accounts too, apartment complexes,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So um, yeah, I mean overall I enjoyed the work and whatever, but at the end of the day, I think once you've owned your own company at one point, um,
You're spoiled.
you are spoiled. You either pay for things in life with time or with money, and
Yeah.
when you're an entrepreneur, that's one of the things that you s- you probably work more than anybody else, but you have more free time because your free time can be whenever you want it to.
Yeah.
Um, so to have the independence and the ability to write your own paycheck is a lot of things that or it's something that I don't think a lot of people understand, and it's a real challenge too because as an entrepreneur, you wake up every single day unemployed.
Yep.
It's it's up to you to go make some more money, get some more
I
customers.
totally agree with that. Yeah. So what'd you end up doing after the thing in southern Missouri?
So I moved back to Wichita, um, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was just kind of transition period. I had a lot of friends that were in the service industry. I went and started bartending, worked at a place called Club Rodeo. It was really cool. It was a massive bar that had live bull riding inside of it.
Yeah.
And but that was just a lot of fun. Worked at a few restaurants and did some bartending. And I had 3 or 4 years there. It was just a lot of fun, kind of irresponsible, no responsibilities at all.
Yeah.
And just kind of lived life. And then had an opportunity, a guy that I met while I was bartending introduced me to a company that was an education technology startup in Wichita. And so I think I was like the I don't know, second, third, fourth employee hired with them. It was an ed
Wow.
tech startup. And I was there for almost 10 years. It was a lot of fun. It gave me a lot of experience. I built out a team that covered the entire Midwest, implementing technology in schools. And
Wow.
so, um, I think that was a $30+ million company within just a few years. And so
Wow.
it was an incredible amount of experience. But my goodness, Ken, I was on the road. At the end of the year, Holiday Inn for Priority Club is what it was called then. They send you a statement of all your hotel stays. Like 250 days out of the year, I was on the road.
That
And
sounds
so,
like my buddy Doug Wing, who's watching. His dad built the Little Giant Ladder Company,
oh
and
wow,
Doug worked there for 45 years, I think, and that's all he did is travel all over the world selling ladders. So yeah, I mean that's it, but that's what that's actually good training to be an entrepreneur.
oh
That's
absolutely.
yeah,
Being part of the startup and growing it to
yeah,
as big as it was, or being part of that. Plus, just the mentorship I got.
right.
Yeah, Richard Haddock is the guy that owned the business, and I looked up to him from day one. And I think a lot of things that I learned from him that he probably doesn't even know. We implement in our business today. Just a fantastic guy, great human being, and experience.
Yeah, yeah. So how long did you do that?
I was there for about 10 years or so.
Okay.
I don't think quite 10, maybe nine, 8.5, 9, 10, or 9.5,
So you
somewhere in
left.
there.
How old were you when you left there?
So I would have been, I think, 33, 4,
Okay. Okay.
maybe. Yeah, probably
Uh,
34 or 35. Yeah, because then I moved to Manhattan, back to Manhattan shortly
so
after.
tell me tell the audience what um what was going on the day that you decided I'm going to start picking up dog poop for a living. I mean, that you had to have been having a pretty shitty day.
Well,
Okay.
I'll tell you, Ken. So to preface that, I had read an article about a guy that was making 8 million bucks a year picking up dog poop,
Oh my gosh.
and for probably 4 or 5 years, I just always joked about picking up dog poop. If I was having a shitty day, as he said,
Oh my gosh.
I would be like, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna go pick up dog poop and call it a day. After 4 or 5 years of making that joke, my wife and I moved to Manhattan, Kansas, and it was
You
like, all right, let's do it.
She
Um,
said that or you said that?
no, I said that, and I mean, my wife is an absolute angel, who I
Oh,
adore, and she just always is supportive no matter what. And
right.
she just looked at me and said, I trust you, and if there's something you want to do, go for it.
Okay, so I just I get all kinds of people that knock on my door selling. I was just talking to my pest control guy. I'm like, dude, so many pest control people stop by selling their services or solar and all these. I cannot imagine trying to sell somebody on letting me pick up their dog's crap. I just like, what is your sales pitch?
Honestly, it's we pick up dog poop. The That is it. I mean, we're on almost all of our advertising
Oh my gosh.
in our Poo Squad font. It says giant. We pick up dog poop, and it's funny because we have people that will still they'll say, "So what do you do?"
Well, okay. So let's get into some of that. So you decided that day that you are look at this, somebody's quoting you. I love that. Who is live your best life? What's your real name? I know that. I know that user. But you decide, and then what did you do? Like go to Walmart and get a pooper scooper and start knocking on doors? And how does one go from never having a dog poop picking up business to now I just I'm not making fun, by the way. I think it's
No.
unbelievably cool. Like, what's the process? How did you get started?
Yeah, so honestly, I scoured the internet looking for people that had done this and done it successfully. Started reaching out to some just random people around the country. Um,
Wow.
one of my good buddies who kind of helped mentor me in the business and get started. His name is Jim Caniglione. He's been running a company called Scoopy Doo in on
I
Long
love that.
Island in New York. He's been
Wow.
doing it for over 20 years. He's one of the originals in the game, and he's just incredibly successful and
Wow.
again just an amazing person. And so he and I actually just I reached out to him randomly on Facebook, and we started talking. I just hit it off with him, and we kind of started talking about our businesses and stuff. And even though I was still fairly new, I'm coming from a tech background. He was still running this massive operation basically off pen and paper. But I mean, more probably like Excel sheet, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, as we were talking in that first conversation, I sent him a message. I was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna fly out." And so it was just like a month
To,
later, I flew out.
to New York.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so we became fast friends. We're great buddies still to this day. And we implemented some technology for his business, and it actually allowed him to kind of cut back on a lot of his expenses that he was having to pay people to do and stuff like that. So he really helped me get started, and there was a few other people, and there's some groups on Facebook that I was a part of, and really I just tried to absorb everything, take it all in, and then go back, sit down, kind of reevaluate, and I say, okay, how are we going to make all of this better? From the sign up process to the actual service itself, to the follow up, to
Wow.
communication, and any kind of service business. I mean, communication is 100%
Yeah.
the most important thing that
1,000.
you have.
Yep.
Because even if things go bad or a customer is upset or something like that, as long as they know about it and you're communicating, you're going to be fine.
So I'm assuming you must have had a little bit of money tucked away if you were going to New York and exploring for a month or so before you got started. Um, the talk about the first day in the field. Like, do you
Yeah.
remember it? Do you remember it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is actually a story that I tell, or that a question that I get quite often.
Like the first day you're going out, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I can just so okay, you go out and you decide I'm all right, we're going, let's go.
Yep. Yeah. So I remember this very vividly because I woke up and I was standing at the foot of my bed, and my wife was actually still laying in bed, and I was just sitting there smiling. And she looked at me and she's like, "What are you smiling for?" And I said, "Babe, the only thing I have to do today is go pick up dog poop." Like, hey, there's not a whole lot of stress in picking up dog poop, Ken.
Oh
Um, so anyway, that's what
oh
it
my
was,
god.
and I decided at that point, and what I told her, I was like, if we're going to do this and we're going to do it successfully and we're going to make this a cool service, we have to treat it like it's cool. If we don't believe it's cool, nobody else will.
Amen. Wow.
And so we, put everything into it and absolutely owned being the dog poop guy and the wife of the dog poop guy.
Wow.
And it was a big sacrifice. I mean, we when we started the business, we moved into a tiny little duplex, cut all of our expenses down to nothing. As I said, I have an incredibly supportive wife, and we had to survive on her income while we were getting started. And
Wow.
I told her it was going to be rough. So that in any startup,
Right.
we're going to have some challenges here, and we did.
Wow.
But 3 years in, we were able to
Ha-
buy a house and kind of start living the life that we'd had previously, and
ha-
now here we are.
okay, but how did you get your first customer?
We actually launched at a home show, a local home show. We set up a vendor booth there,
Oh.
and so there was a lot of people. There was quite a bit of traffic, and we got our first 2 or 3 customers from that home show that we did.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, so let's say that you had an office here in North Texas, and I said, "Hey, I want you to come out." What's it cost? What's involved? I mean, my dogs go to the bathroom a lot, it seems like it seems like that's all they do actually, but so and it's not
Yeah.
my wife's watching, and she was a big executive in the pet industry for many years, so she's obsessed with picking up dog poop in our backyard. Thank God, because we wouldn't have dogs. She said, "Wish I got paid for picking." So,
Yeah.
what's it cost? What's the service like? I mean, what? Tell me about the mechanics of it. Like, I know you're not bending over picking up. Like, you've got to have equipment that's doing it. But what what's the service cost, and how often do you do it, and
Yeah,
etc.
so probably 95% of what we do is all residential. So it's
Right.
people's homes.
Yeah.
They call us, I would say again, probably 95% of what we do is a weekly service. And so we come by once a week. We have some customers that we do multiple times a week.
Yeah.
We have a few that we do every other week, or even some that we do monthly. If they're small dogs and
Wow.
maybe they travel quite a bit or
Yeah.
something like that, we will make some s- special arrangements for those kinds of customers as well. So, yeah, it starts out, one dog is $13 a week, and then it's $3 per additional dog for there.
That's it?
That's it, man.
Wow.
And that's here locally. So, as you said, we're actually in the process of opening our 21st location now. Um, and in
Wow.
different markets, our pricing is different. So
Yeah.
we're launching in Seattle, Austin, Riverside, California, and we're adding our 4th location to Kansas City right now. And
Jeez.
so almost all of those markets are going to be, quite a bit more.
My wife said, with 2 golden retrievers, we need you every day. But, yeah, I mean, it's not that extreme, but once a week, I think is for me, I'd be like, That's man, that's a lot of poop you have to go pick up if you're only doing once a week."
Yeah,
And Doug says it makes him mad when he sees people. Yeah, people walk their dogs and don't clean up after their dogs. And I was thinking about this interview with you last night, and I was thinking, well, that would have to be maybe a market where HOAs have do is that a market where they say, "Hey, can you go around the neighborhood, and because we have
yeah,
idiots living here that don't pick up after their dog."
yeah, absolutely. So we have a big commercial side of the business too. The same goes for like apartment complexes with the pet waste stations around. We service those. But yeah, HOAs, that's a big one because you've got a lot of people that walk walk their dogs, that don't clean up after themselves.
Yeah.
So when you get those community spaces, we do get asked to quote those quite a bit.
Do you really? Wow. What year was it that you started this company?
March of 2017.
Okay.
That
So, how did you fare during the 2020 stuff?
we actually doubled our business.
Did you really? I
Yep,
bet you did.
we've continued to grow. I mean, the pet related business industry is just killing it. If you go back and look at all the numbers, it's grown at like these numbers are a little bit old, so don't quote me or hold me to it. But it was the pet industry had grown at about 8.5% since 2000, and I think 2002 is when they started keeping those stats. And so even through the recession in 2008,
Yeah.
pet related businesses still grew at 8.5%. So
My wife just said the pet industry is definitely pretty recession prof. She put proof. She's gonna kill me for that. So let me ask you. I mean, because I did hear that COVID makes dogs poop more. Um, I'm just kidding. So you've got like you start this in 2017. You go down to the basics of living to launch the business. I think it's brilliant that you started at a home show. That's a great idea.
thank you.
Although that can be a um, pretty big look. Joe Ingram, that's my buddy Joe. He says, I think I've seen your family room before. Um, but what are some of the hiccups that you had along the way getting this thing started? And another question is you're picking up a lot of crap every day, right?
Yeah.
What do you do with all that?
Yeah, unfortunately, the only thing that we can do with it um, is throw it away. I mean, you have to. Dog poop is so toxic that you either like if you go to a city website and look up what am I supposed to do with dog poop, they recommend you either flush it or which obviously we can't do. It's not an
No.
option. Or you have to take it to the landfill. There is a third option, I guess, which would be composting. We looked into it, but the that would be an entire different operation just to
Yeah.
manage all the dog poop that we pick up. When you're picking up 4 tons of dog poop every week, just kind of at one location.
That much?
Oh yeah, it becomes a massive chore uh, to compost it. You would have to have a huge area, and like I said, it would be you'd be funding an entirely separate operation to do it.
Look look at what Joe said. It's always the same crap a different day. I mean, the jokes and the comments have to be insane. Like,
Oh yeah, 100%. We all day long, every day, we get them.
and you just roll with it.
Yeah,
It's
well, we
amazing.
embrace it. You have to. Like I said,
Yeah.
if I can't make you think that this is a fun, light-hearted service that people actually need,
Yeah.
then you're not. I mean, nobody's just going to believe that on their own. So we,
Do you offer I can't imagine that you don't. But do you offer any kind of deodorizing service with your dog poop
yeah,
pooping?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of, like I was talking about earlier with the commercial customers. So you're looking at like a lot of dog runs, some hard surfaces, kennels, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely we've got products that we use to sanitize and deodorize it.
Yeah.
Um, all of our tools, and we actually do that between each yard as well. We don't want to be responsible for cross contaminating yards. Bringing bacteria from say parvo from one house to another. So we're pretty rigid and strict with our sanitation practices.
Yeah. Do you see Joe's comment on screen?
No, what do you say?
Do you ever go to Oh
All the
my
time,
god.
Joe. Yeah. No, that's what I was saying when we embrace it. We actually on the side of our trucks. Sorry, I was just looking out the window at my truck. But on the side of our trucks, it says we take a lot of crap from our customers.
Oh
Um,
my god.
so yeah, I mean, we embrace it and roll with all of the poop jokes.
That is so funny. At the end of the day, you must be wiped. So 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 you like okay, so are there I'm just curious because you're opening all of these people are laughing at Joe. But you're opening all of these locations. Are there regulations and things that you have to follow or how's that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we currently operate under a licensing model. We do have our FDD agreement. And again, I'll go back to kind of the beginning. I bootstrapped this business. I own 100% of it as we speak.
Well,
Um,
good for you.
I've paid for everything just out of pocket. So, um, sorry, what I kind of derailed there. What was the specific question again?
Uh, um hold on. Look, this I'm too caught up in some of the comments that no one wants to deal with their own crap, so you profit from. I mean, that is so freaking true. And again, I go back to my buddy telling me, dude, there's a guy making over $1 million a year right here in Columbus, Ohio, when I lived in Ohio, picking up dog crap. And I don't remember my original question I had asked you. So if anybody remembers, we both drew a blank. So but talk about you've got it was about regulations and
Oh
stuff
yeah, yeah.
in all the locations that you're opening.
Yeah, so I went down the wrong path there with the FDD agreement and
It's
stuff.
all right.
So we are in the process of finishing up our entire franchise agreement, but we're also kind of taking a look at a different model. We recently just partnered with a company from Silicon Valley. They flew out here a few months ago, and they're building
Wow.
out our own field service software. Um,
Wow.
So we're kind of changing the game. There's a lot of options out there that exist currently for home service businesses, but it's like they're all CRMs with just kind of bolt-ons. And I knew that we could do a lot more, especially with AI and automation. And
Yeah.
so when I started talking to these guys, the two founders are, one of them was the second employee at DoorDash. The other one built Amazon Alexa. So we've got some talent there. But
Wow.
they're also from the tech startup world in Silicon Valley, and so I had been sharing my ideas for years about what ideal software would look like for us. And every time that I would mention it or talk to a dev team or a developer, um, they would just say, "Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that." But
Yeah.
these guys from Serve just embraced the challenge. Um, I started sharing exactly, what a perfect software for us would look like. And just with all the automation, I was like, I want it to be a frictionless experience. If you've ever seen the story of Uber, that was kind of their whole thing.
Yeah.
They just wanted a frictionless experience for people to get a ride. And so
Yeah.
this new software that we're building, actually, it will allow us, or allow our customers rather, to never have to talk to us if they don't want to. You got a lot of these Gen Zers that they don't ever want to talk to somebody. They just want to open up an
Right.
app, book your service. They want to be
Yeah.
able to handle everything right there.
Yeah.
And that kind of automation, especially with automated routing, when you're dealing with hundreds of customers all over your town or
Yeah.
city, routing and route density is a huge issue.
Huge.
And So the system that we're building out, which doesn't exist in any other system currently, is just automated routing. So somebody goes to our app, somebody goes to our website. Whenever they punch in their address, it's going to know which of our scoopers is in that area on which day. It's going to know how much availability that scooper has, and it will just
Wow.
automatically schedule them. We're getting rid of all of the admin work. I want all of my business partners, our other locations. They're not making money necessarily when they're just sitting behind a computer. With
Right.
the home service business, it's pretty important to be involved and active in your community. So they need to be out, doing some of those things. And
Yeah.
so, really, what we're trying to do here at Poo Squad is take all of the admin work, all of their marketing stuff. We're building out all of our we're building out everything at scale right now to be able to do all of that for every location.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, it's been an interesting challenge.
So, I'm trying to get your link to your website. I love some of the comments Joe is making. Software will save you a crap ton of time. But I think that's brilliant. I've been in technology for 30 years, built my first website in 1994. So it's been a while. Um, and I have a CRM system that I'm partnered with called Go High Level that is phenomenal, and it
It's
does
amazing.
everything except for routing. And I have a good friend and client in California that has a trash bin cleaning service, and I
Yeah.
build out everything for him on Go High Level, huge system. And the one thing that it doesn't do is routing, and I'm like, so, you have to get into Google APIs and developers, and it's a challenge. So good for you for finding a solution for that. It's important. Very important.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm super excited to see where Serve goes afterwards because like I
Yeah.
said, this software is an absolute game changer for home service businesses. And
Wow.
there is going to be they have a product that currently exists, but with all of the implementations that we're making,
Yep.
they're going to be able to bring that same level of service to their commercial software that's available to just anybody.
Well,
Um,
Joe, and like Joe just said, you can license and white label the routing software. It's true.
yeah, for sure. It's going to be a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm super excited for that. We're scheduled for October 1st to launch our pilot, and then
Wow.
rolling it out to all of our locations the following month.
So what's your you've got 21 locations and they're all licensing agreements. They're not franchises.
Currently, yes.
Okay.
What?
So, um look, that might be the best comment you can take a dump on. Oh my god. So, sorry, Joe has mental health issues we won't discuss.
No, you could.
He's funny. I'm kidding. So, you are what was I asking you? God, Joe's so distracting. Um you've got these locations, 21 locations. Seattle's a long way from Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah.
How do you um how do you control quality customer service with these licensees? Because my wife was she was a global VP of marketing for a couple of companies that have franchise locations all over the world. And from what she has said, and I've seen it, controlling what franchisees or licensees, I mean, it's a different way to word it, I guess, but um how do you control their quality, what they're doing? Do you have any checks and balances in place for that?
Um, yes and no. We don't have anything necessarily that's scalable at this point for that process. We have a much, I mean, not necessarily different model. Um, but anyway, no, I mean the vetting that we do, obviously we do background checks and all that stuff first.
Right, right.
But you know, a big part of it is just sitting down and doing exactly what we're doing. I talk
Yeah,
to every one of our people for hours before they ever do this. I try to
yeah.
talk people out of doing it. And that's what I always tell them. I'm like, if I can talk you out of it, I don't want you here. Um, I'm going to tell you 100% with complete transparency, all of the good things and all of the bad things about our business.
Yeah.
Um, and if you're still here in the end and you want to talk some more, you know, it's kind of meant to be. And we've never actually even advertised one time. We haven't spent a penny on advertising uh, to open up new locations. These
Wow.
are just people that have reached out to me through my network. Um, but we do
Wow.
have, I mean, we do have our standard set of SOPs that we've got
Yeah.
that people follow. Um, you know, we're pretty strict with attendance. A lot of the things that we hear about our competitors, um, you know, we make those a priority. So we hear a
Yeah.
lot, well, my pooper scooper never comes on the same day of the week, or you know, they'll just randomly take off for 2 weeks and nobody will show up or something like that. So we're pretty strict that we never miss. We always show up on the same day every week. If you're gonna if you if you own a Poo Squad location, you want to take a vacation, you know, you better have an employee there or something to cover to make sure those customers still get service.
Wow.
Because that's key. I mean, consistency is 100% key, and
It
yeah,
is.
you got to show up.
You got to show up. I agree. Um, and Joe just made another comment. This is a great market for viral videos. Holy crap. Pun intended. You could make some really amazing. Are you guys on TikTok and all that?
You know, we're not. That's actually we are just now 7 years in. If this sounds kind of crazy, we're just now focusing on content. Um,
Yeah.
Honestly, there just has. I mean, as you know, content creation takes a ton of time, and it's not
It
super
can.
easy. Um, but with AI and automation, you know, we're able to start doing a lot of things that we haven't been able to do in the past.
Yeah.
But yes, that actually is one of the next hires that we're looking at is a content creator, somebody that can go out in the field with us, shoot videos, you know, put a content calendar together,
Yeah.
all of those good things. Because yeah, it's massively important. And Joe is right. We have a huge opportunity, or if that was Joe, we
That
have a
was
huge
Joe.
opportunity with a lot of the stuff that we do. I mean,
You
we have
do.
done a lot of really funny ads and stuff like that. I mean, we hear all the time people will say, "Oh, I love your advertising and branding and uh, you know, all of those good things." But no, we've
Yeah.
never done anything quite viral yet. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's coming.
Well, I think, again, I mean, that's what I teach. I teach what you're talking about. I teach people how to, and there's apps that are literally, I think what happens is we start overthinking it too much. And
Yep.
and Grant Cardone, who's a friend of mine, says that. He's like, dude, you stop, just go. Like, everybody's out here thinking about what they should do and how to make the perfect viral video, and look, Joe just said it. You need to get your shit out there, and I agree. And it's a matter of just doing it and
Yep.
taking it and content creation with some of the apps that are available, and I'll share it with you after we're done, but 30 seconds and you're done.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of alluding to. We are doing a lot with AI now and automating
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
yep.
amazing, dude. I love what you're doing. I just absolutely love what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I mean, it's just a fun business. You get to talk to fun
Yeah.
people all the time. Your customers are always happy to see you. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's just not a whole lot of stress. I mean, I'm doing all this as a one man show.
That's
Um,
unbelievable.
we
Wow.
we've got great business partners all over the country, and we have had some people um, work with us. My good buddy Corey, who is just incredible in front of the camera. If you go to our website or if you are our YouTube channel, you'll see him in some of our stuff. But he's not
Wow.
actually full time with us. He took off to go do some other stuff, but he's still kind of going to be the face and voice of the brand. He's brilliant on camera. He's a brilliant
Yeah.
marketer, content creator, all of that stuff. So yeah.
Look, Joe just said there is a dog crapping calendar. This could be mega viral. And that's so I think with the direction, and so you're doing it locally. You don't have an employee out doing it yet? You're
Oh
still
no, no,
picking
no.
up.
Sorry. As no, my business here in Manhattan, my location
Yeah.
is 100% on autopilot. I don't do anything with it.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I got you. I got you.
And I'm actually selling it. The team that owns our Lawrence location,
Yeah.
which is right down the road,
Yeah.
they are actually going to be buying our Manhattan location.
Wow.
Um, I
Wow.
had it. We had just put it up for sale, and I had a good buddy reach out and was wanting to buy it, and he's the absolute perfect person for it.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of set on doing that. But as part of our agreement uh, that we signed with all of our business partners, they have first right of refusal for any new territory or any territory that we have. And so when I put Lawrence up for sale, or not Lawrence, Manhattan up for sale,
Yeah.
um, after several weeks, just kind of out of the blue, um, I had a video application from our Lawrence location, and so
Wow.
it's kind of unfortunate. I was really looking forward to, or it's not unfortunate. They're absolutely incredible, brilliant people that I
Yeah.
love to death. Um, but I was also excited for my buddy to have that opportunity to come in and kind of take this over. But he's also looking at some other areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I
So what's your plan? Are you planning on continuing licensing agreements, franchising? What are you looking at doing in the future with this?
Yeah, so our franchise agreement's actually with our attorneys now. We're getting this wrapped up.
Okay.
Um, but our new software is also going to open up a whole new world to us.
Yeah.
If you're licensing, if you're franchising, no matter what, you're limited to the areas you can go.
Yeah.
You can't start a franchise location with a population of 5,000 people, right? But with the automation that our new software is going to allow, it will allow us to go into any market in the country. So a town of 5,000 people, our software will allow us to have gig economy workers.
Yeah.
And for people that aren't familiar with gig economy workers, think of like your Uber driver or DoorDash driver, something
Yeah.
like that. So, somebody living in a town of 5,000 people, they'll be able to start their own little side hustle through Poo Squad
Wow.
using our app. And then anytime somebody requests service in that town, it will go to them and they can go scoop. So,
Wow.
It's really going to open up markets all over the country that we can't currently exist in.
Wow.
So we're taking a
Well,
look at with the attorney. I don't know if ultimately I don't know if we'll end up being a franchise,
yeah.
but we're getting all of. I mean, we're dotting all those i's and crossing all those t's anyway.
Man, I think you
With
have
using
a
it.
huge opportunity. I really do. And because I can't imagine that, I mean, there's got to be, um, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much rocket science is involved in going out and picking up dog crap, but the routing, people don't like the reason that Amazon is the size of company that they are is they figured out how to route. They figured out how to deliver the I'm drawing a complete blank on the word, not distribution, but yeah. Anyway,
The
um,
logistics.
logistics, thank you. It's getting the packages there early, fast, and not wasting money paying a lot of people to they figured it out, the routing part of it. And so that I think is once you have that, you're golden, man. I think you're
Yeah,
golden.
routing and communication. When I told my wife we are going to start this business, I said well, the only way we're going to do this is if we're the absolute best at what we're doing,
Yeah.
and so we 100% from day one. We've got differences that set us apart from a lot of our competitors. A lot of them are doing some of the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
But every time you see anybody from Poo Squad, you're going to see a bright orange shirt. We
Wow.
don't ever want customers to ever have to wonder who's in their yard. We send them text message reminders automated 8 o'clock in the morning on their day of service, letting them know that we're on or that we're going to be there at some point today. So if they need to leave their dog in or whatever, um, then we send them another message about 10 minutes or so before we get there, just giving them another heads up. We do the yard, we do the sanitation, we take a picture of their closed and latched gate securely.
Gates. Yeah.
And we send
Wow.
that at the end of, so we have a dog poop report as well.
Jeez.
Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, so our dog poop report card, a dog's poop is one of the first things you'll notice if they got something going on with them. And
Wow.
if our customers are hiring us to do it, they never see their dog's poop. And so we're kind of that early warning indicator. We send the dog poop report card out.
Wow.
Um, and then again, with that gate report, you know, what that does is it allows our customers to come home. They don't have to go out and walk around their yard just to see if to double check and make sure the gate's closed. They've got a picture of it um,
Wow.
as we leave. So, I mean, there's a lot of things like that. And all of our employees, they all have these name badges. They've got QR codes on them, but they're also NFC. And so at any point, any of our customers can go up and just tap their phone and it goes and shows their Poo Squad employee profile,
Wow.
shows their background check verification, all of that stuff. Um, Basically, it takes them to a link in bio page so they can book service from it or whatever. So, because we
That's
get,
awesome.
I mean, when we're out and about scooping, people see
Yep.
our trucks or whatever. We have people approach us all the time and
Wow.
say, "How do I sign up for service?" Well, just one tap to our employee IDs, and there you go.
Dude,
So
that's incredible, man. You've thought of everything. Now, I'm sure though that it you didn't think of everything on day one, and
no,
it's morphed over time into what it is now. Monthly franchise newsletter, get your crap together. I love that. I think that what you're doing though is phenomenal, and how you're doing it, and and I think that the reason I wanted you to be on the show is this is a show about breaking through walls and overcoming hard times and for entrepreneurs, and man, you're doing it. And and there, it kind of, it does lend to what my buddy said. He's like, dude, stop your whining. There's a guy making over $1 million a year picking up dog crap,
Yeah.
but like, there's no excuse for not succeeding. There's not an excuse that works.
Yeah, Ken, it's really sad kind of in the times that we're living,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
meritocracy has become a controversial thing.
Yeah.
The idea of working harder and getting more, it blows my mind that that's controversial to some people.
It
Um,
is. I know.
but you get rewarded for hard work, and I don't know that you necessarily get penalized for not working hard, but you might
Yeah.
not get the things that you want in life, and that's just a reality.
I,
Um,
that's the, what is it? The law of natural selection. The weak don't make it, and you can have a weak mindset all you want, um, but you're not gonna make it. And people who go out and make shit happen, right? My buddy Jeffrey Gitomer wrote a book called "Get Shit Done," but I think that you just gotta drop the excuses, drop the blame, drop the excuses, and do what you're doing. I honestly, I could go knock on doors in my neighborhood of a couple hundred homes, and more than likely pick up some customers to do dog poop scooping today.
yeah.
Depends on how bad do you want it. Now I know there's regulations and all that, but I'm just saying that you can make a way or keep your excuses. You can't have both.
Yeah, and we've got our 4 core values of Poo Squad, and we really try to live by those, and make sure that our locations all know how important those things are to us.
Yeah.
Um, and,
Talk.
and one of those is owning the brand. You really have to own it. You have to own being the dog poop guy or girl,
Yeah.
and embrace that. And part of just going and doing it,
Yeah.
as you were just saying, is owning the brand and owning what you're doing.
Yep.
Because if you can't commit to it, man, I mean, nobody's going to believe you. Like, if you're embarrassed about what you do, nobody's going to believe in you or what you're doing. And
Amen.
so we really have to kind of preach that you got to own it every single day.
I don't know how could I mean, it's a service. It's an amazing service. Like, I don't know how you could be embarrassed by it, especially if you bought into a franchise or a licensing agreement or whatever. And like, be proud, man. Go pick up that dog crap with a smile on your face.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's given me and my family, as I was talking about earlier, you pay for things with time or money. It's given us a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's given us the resources to do a lot of cool things. I mean, we've sponsored a NASCAR. How cool is it to see your little hometown pooper scooper brand on the back of a NASCAR flying around next to Monster logos or Home Depot or
Wow.
whatever. So
Good for you, man.
um, yeah, just a lot of cool things that we've got to do, and it's really just been an enjoyable business. Um, talking about earlier, we do have a little bit of a different model. We only charge $7,500 as a fee, as a licensing fee to license our brand.
Wow.
Um, and we do that on purpose. I just recently, not super recently now, but had a quite a big battle with COVID, and
Yeah.
I was in the hospital and on a ventilator for almost a couple months,
Wow.
to the point where they were preparing my family for my death, and coming back from that, my perspective on life, business, relationships, everything changed. And
Yeah.
it came to a point where it was like, okay, this is God telling me that this is what I'm here for. I'm here to be the dog poop guy. As crazy as that sounds, we're changing lives all over the country. Every single one of our locations, they all have a unique story. Um,
Yeah.
it's amazing. We've got one of our guy who we actually just made our COO was an area director for Hy-Vee. If you're not familiar with Hy-Vee, it's a big grocery store chain.
Yeah.
He was making great money, never got to see his family. In retail, those guys work so hard. And he was looking for something different. And, now he's doing 60 grand a month in Kansas City, and he's completely changed his life. He's got his freedom back. And,
Wow.
getting messages from those guys and gals, that's what drives me. And those are the things that I thought about in the hospital.
Yeah.
Getting those text messages. Hey, this is the first time I got to spend Christmas with my family in years. And so as I was laying there, like I said, in the hospital, I couldn't talk because I had a giant hole in my throat, which is why I still kind of sound like I'm hoarse or whatever today.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as I was laying there thinking about those things, I really felt as if God was speaking to me and telling me that, that was my mission.
That is so incredible. I had in 2021, I was in the hospital for a while with COVID, double pneumonia. They did not, I refused a ventilator, to be honest with you. But they were talking about it. I get it. And it does put everything into a different, totally different perspective. My wife said, you need to write a book. I totally agree. Joe says your book title is If You Have to Take Shit from People, Do It Profitably.
That's great.
That is,
You better copyright that, Joe, because I might
yeah,
steal
that's
it.
awesome. Powerful message, man. Well, listen, Jamie, we're at the end of the show. I'm so grateful, number one, to know you now, and number two, that you came on and shared your story of it's incredible. It's so powerful. And I think that more people need to hear it and know that anything is freaking possible. Anything.
Anything.
So I love it. And I didn't ask you, but I'm assuming that you guys are in the millions of dollars by now, and as far as your annual revenue as a company, and it's just incredible. Like you go from broke to picking up dog crap to bringing in millions of dollars a year in revenue, and that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible, and it should inspire a lot of people to get their heads out of their dogs. No, I'm kidding. But like it should inspire people. So this is incredible. So my wife says, thank you very much. It's inspiring, and you are a great entrepreneur. I agree. Erica is on here. She's been giving you props. Thank you for sharing your story.
Erica actually has a podcast that I've done a few times as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's been a great friend in the business too, and an extremely talented entrepreneur. She owns a dog waste business up in Michigan.
Oh, wow. That's so awesome. So
Yeah.
awesome. Dude, thank you for coming on. And I'm going to end the live stream now. But everybody watching, make sure you're following Jamie. I've got the website scrolling at the bottom, Poo
Yeah, and
Squad.
it's actually poosquad.com.
Oh, I copied it right from what you sent me.
There's a good I don't know how I missed that, but I
Whoops.
apologize.
I'm gonna put that in here. Poosquad.com. That's helpful. Yeah. So yeah, poosquad.com. You can go over and check it out. And is all your social media listed, I'm sure, on your website so people can follow you?
I think it's at the very bottom. I know the logos are. We actually just redid our website and went live with it yesterday. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, we were having some real SEO challenges. Starting a business here locally in Manhattan, Kansas, that didn't really have any competition. We never really put much thought or consideration into our SEO. But once we started getting into larger markets,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we were just a dog in the SEO world. So we're
Yeah.
starting that journey now too.
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you, and I know the audience appreciates you. Joe said, yeah, ignore that other shit that was scrolling. Right. It's poosquad.com. Go check it out. For those of you listening, go check out Jamie and follow him on social media everywhere. And Jamie, thank you again for coming on and sharing your very, very inspiring story. I appreciate it.
Ken, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and
Yeah.
thank you to your wife, and thank you to Joe for keeping us entertained.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. All right. You guys have a great day. Do me a favor and share this out. If you haven't shared it, you can still redeem yourself and go ahead and share this out. So we will see you all real soon. Have an awesome day. Jamie, stay with me. I'm going to end this, but stay with me. We'll chat for a minute. Everybody have an awesome day, and make sure you go follow Jamie everywhere.